Yo, yo, yo! Hello, everyone! We're back, finally! After months, finally some action. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone see the Bitcoin chart? Is the volume okay? Both the music volume and the mic volume. And if that's fine, I guess we'll get started. We'll take a look at quite a bit of charts today. We've got a lot to cover. There will of course be room for questions as well. And maybe we'll do some requests at the end too. Maverick, Frank the Tank, Chintaro, GPM Boss, Stefan, Rizwan. How are you guys doing? Yes, we see you. For some reason, my live chat is like translating every message. I'm not sure why. And I don't know how to turn that off, but okay, I think it's okay now. So volume's okay? We hear you twice. Yeah, maybe there's like a bit of echo. I'll try to fix that, but should be fine for now, right? So let's dive into the charts. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. As always, I'll answer all of them. Leave a like, by the way. It's the first stream in quite a while. We will try to live stream weekly again from now on. So yeah, let's try to get to 10k subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, feel free to do so, and leave a like. That helps me to get more views and stuff like that. So that's much appreciated. Right, so starting off with Bitcoin, of course, high time frame. Let's start off on the monthly actually. Let's skip this song. Is the voice, the sound that bad, or? Normally I should be on my mic here. Yeah, not sure what to do about it at the moment. I can try to fix it after the stream, but I guess we will have to do it like this for now. It's me? Okay, perfect. So, Bitcoin monthly chart is where we start. Ever since, January, February, 2023, right? Ever since the FTX capitulation candle, we started making higher highs and higher lows all the way up towards these highs right here. And that was the top in October 2025. Which highs got swept with that move? Well, the highs right here. Also, what was the confirmation that the sort of the bullish trend was over? Well, that was the close back below these highs. What was the draw liquidity then? the other side of these highs, which were these lows. So that instantly gives you a very clean range with this as the range highs, this as the range lows, where you now see that we have swept the highs with these moves. In between, you've swept local highs, and now we've swept the lows right here, and in between, you also swept those local lows with, of course, below clean resting monthly demand right below the lows. So instantly, when you see a chart like this with only two levels and the context behind it, we swept the highs, swept local highs, swept the lows, swept local lows, you can immediately see what is going to be the confirmation that we will more than likely trade back into these range high levels right here. That would be a reclaim of range low, being 74k. At the moment, the monthly is looking very good. We still have 5 more days to go, but in my opinion, what is the goal for the current monthly candle? That is to close right above here. So that's pretty much the view on the monthly. If that happens, right, what are the targets? Well, we will go to the weekly time frame in a bit, but you can already see which were the local lows that got swept below range lows. That's this one. What's the opposite side of those lows? That's gonna be these highs. Why? Well, we came all the way down here. This move was the sweep of range lows, then bounced in one go to this high. From these highs, we went to the sweep of these lows, right? So in one go from these lows to these highs, that's gonna be your lower time frame range. Well, not the low time frame, but the lower time frame if you compare it to the monthly time frame, right? That's going to be a weekly range. So what's then the lower time frame target, being the weekly? That's gonna be these highs. But on the monthly, as you can see, if we reclaim this monthly range low, what would be the target there? I would say liquidity above this clean high right here into supply resting right at these highs, lining up with range high into 106, I'd say, maybe a little lower, maybe 101 all the way up to 110k. And from there, we'll have to see, right, that will be clean and key resistance. If we do something like this and then reject heavily and close the monthly back below here, well, then we're simply in a range in between general areas being 110k, somewhere around there, and yeah, 60 to 75k, somewhere around there. And we don't get excited until we get a close above, until we get a close above that key area right here, being 101 to 110k. If you get a monthly close above there, yeah, then you just long everything, and I think we will be heading for 140, 150k at least. All right, using some OTEs here as well. If you draw it from the high to the low, right, where it's going to be the key resistance that we need to break, guess what? Lining up beautifully as well. OTE right at 105. I said 101 to 110. Well, guess what? The OTE is right in between 100 and 111. So nice confluence right there as well. So yeah, I think there's a good chance, if we, of course, if we close the monthly above that this range low right here, that we will be trading a lot higher. Now, I made a post about it yesterday, and I said what invalidates the bullishness that we just have. Like, everyone's still wondering if this move is like just a bear market rally, right? Or if it's flipping us from bearish to bullish trend, right? Well, in my opinion, this doesn't really look like a bear market rally, right? we closed this monthly candle very ugly, but we failed to see continuation to the downside. And in my opinion, if we would have gone for this low right here, which was an area that I was watching and was a downside objective for me, and was a place where I would be looking to add to spot bags, if we would have gone for this area, I think we should have seen continuation from this candle, or of course this candle right here. As you can see, wasn't really looking great either, but we opened the monthly, right? What you wanted to see then was either continuation to the downside or a sweep of that monthly high right there and an instant rejection below, back below the monthly high, right? So if you look at it on the lower time frames, we should have seen something like this, and then an instant snapback down, and then continuation from there. What we did see now instead is a very clean breakout, right? And just pumping straight through all of this resistance, and currently looking very strong. So the only thing that would invalidate us being bullish, and more than likely locally at least flipping the trend to bullish on the weekly, would be failing to hold above the point of breakout of this candle, which is the consolidation right here. So that's pretty much the area you should keep your eye on. Now, as always, it's in my opinion, it would be better that we don't come back down here, right? So that's why I made a post yesterday as well. For me, it would be the ideal, and also the most likely scenario is that we just chill a bit here, maybe see a dip right into that monthly level, and then just continuation to the upside and start pushing higher all the way up into 110k. Now, it's not because like now is everyone's like, oh, we're going straight there. Yeah, like, no, it can take some weeks, you know. It's possible that we do something like this, come up here, ugly rejection, everyone turns bearish again, blah, 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 consolidate, and then we push up there. Like, that's possible as well. But now, like, you have the framework, and you know, it, as long as prices hold above the 70k area, I think we should be good for higher. All right, so that's my thoughts on what's going to happen with Bitcoin. If we fail to do so and it's one big trap, right, and we trade back down all the way here, yeah, then like it's back to waiting game or targeting lower, I guess, right? But for now, I'm very optimistic. So let's see what we get. So that lower time frame range that I was talking about on the weekly would be these lows, right? And these highs. So short-term target for Bitcoin, of course, would be these highs right here. So if we do something like this, right, and reject back below, yeah, then it's likely maybe we retest range mean. So if we draw this as a range from here to here, look at the, oh, I thought it was spot on, like this it is, you know. But what I wanted to say was, if we sweep the highs and we break back below range mean, right, then it's possible and even likely that we see some downside first, a retest of range mean, the red level, and then see the breakout out of this weekly range, and then we should be ready to push up to monthly supply, monthly range high, and monthly liquidity above here into 100Ks again. All right, so not saying we're going straight up there. Maybe even we put in another trap. Scenario like this is possible as well, but like for now, I would say buy as close to this mid-range as possible. So 71k looks like great entries towards 74, 75 monthly range low, and look for continuation there up to these range highs if they're not swept yet, and after that into supply right here, and maybe even up to 100Ks right there. As I said, if we break below here, see weakness, yeah, then it's gonna be more ranging. Maybe we wick here and everyone's gonna think we break down, but we bounce again because it's still a stupid fucking range then. So don't get too bearish at the lows, because maybe we sweep them and see a reclaim, or we break down, right, and we do get our final sub 50K entry. But like, what needs to happen for us to dump to sub 50K, right? Like, I am pretty damn confident that we're not gonna see it and we're not gonna get it, but like, never say never, right? If you've been following me for a while, you know that I don't like to talk in absolutes. Some people on Twitter do, and always at some point they get blasted out, and then everyone's like, you clown, you know, so why would you do it? It's a game of probabilities, so be ready for anything, and that's the best way to approach it. So yeah, that's my plan. Any questions about this? So that's pretty much high time frame wise what I'm watching. Low time frame wise, I posted a plan as well yesterday, right? So on the daily, beautiful breakout, strong pumps here. We are coming into this supply, but we pumped quite a bit in it. But if you check the lower time frames, it's looking a bit heavy here. Why? Because the highs got swept. We failed to break above. We failed to hold above, back inside the range, and clean lows below. So after a move like this, first high is your range high, first low made after is your range low, then beautiful sweep of the highs. So where's liquidity going to be resting right now? Well, in my opinion, right below the lows. So look for a sweep, as I said, into those higher time frame levels, that weekly range mean in red, and that monthly range low right above it. So anywhere down there, look for buys there, and then if you see strength and a reclaim there, that's gonna look very good, and then very high chance we see that weekly liquidity at least above 82, 83K. So that's what I'm watching on the lower time frames. All right. Any questions about this? Thoughts on macro Litecoin? Bitcoin plan makes 100% sense. I'll do Litecoin after. We'll start with some other coins, and then I'll do Litecoin. It's clear? Awesome. So ETH, right? I posted an ETH chart some time ago when we were trading. I posted literally this chart when we were trading all the way down here, right? Why? Because like you have this huge monthly range with these as lows and these as the highs. Maybe I'll explain why I chose those levels. Pretty much ever since 2021 bull market, right? Huge rally, and then here we topped, and this was the first place where we saw a heavy rejection, right? And we dumped very hard towards these lows. So that's why this all-time high right here is gonna have significance, you know, from these highs, these all-time highs. Where did we bounce significantly? Well, at these lows. What confirms that these levels are key? Well, we swept the highs, broke back below them, and as we broke back below them, what was the draw on liquidity? Below the lows, right? Came back to the lows. As you can see on the lower time frames as well, levels got respected. And ever since, pretty much those levels have defined like how Ethereum traded. Every time it got to range lows, we bounced. Every time it got to range highs, starting from here. Also here you could say right? We rejected there, but also here. Up here, I was very bullish, but I said what you don't want to see right here is us breaking below this level again, because if we do, yeah, then it's probably back to range lows. Then we traded that all the way back to range lows. On the lower time frames, we didn't only get back to these monthly range lows, we also swept these local lows right here into like, yeah, very low prices for Ethereum, and then most importantly saw the reclaim right here. Reclaim, consolidate. I think it was in this area that I posted it, that I was bullish on Ethereum, right? Targeting, I had one circle and it was up here. Like, again, just like with Bitcoin, it's not gonna go up there in a straight line, but I wouldn't be surprised if we now do this: higher low, higher high, higher low, up towards here, right? Supply, reject, maybe a little more ranging, and then get back up here. And then we'll see again, right? If it breaks out of this area and we hold for one time, who knows? Ethereum might go to 10K from there. If we don't, and we do something like this again, break back below, yeah, then it's probably another couple years of ranging, right? So that's Ethereum. I feel like it makes more sense to be bullish. Sorry, to be bullish on Ethereum rather than to be bearish. I still feel like these prices are fairly low, right? If you're targeting even 4K, it's very doable. We've traded there a ton, right? So it's very doable. And we're at what, 2.4K right now, so that's still a pretty safe, yeah, 70% gain. So yeah, that's why I think it makes more sense to be bullish on Ethereum rather than to be bearish. Let's see the lower time frames. Daily, nothing too much. If you compare it to Bitcoin though, these as the lows, these as the highs. Why? Because from all of this, this is where we bounced to these highs. These lows got swept and reclaimed. What was the draw towards these highs? And these highs already got swept. If you compare it to Bitcoin, there these highs didn't get swept yet, so we'll have to see. But I think, yeah, Bitcoin is king as always, which could be the reason why we see some local downside here and then continue to the upside. For ETH, what would that mean? Something like this, boom, and then who knows, if we reclaim this, next target would be supply right here, sideways price action where we broke down from, lining up with this monthly range mean. All right, so looking for something similar, of course, on Ethereum right there. And then Hype, one that I'm holding a lot of spots off at the moment. As I posted publicly on X, on Twitter, I sold half my Ethereum, half my Litecoin, and half my BNB to put it into Hype at a pretty great time. Where did I put it in? I think somewhere in this consolidation. So yeah, we're up quite a bit on that. Ever since we traded in this range, my plan for Hype, I posted that on X as well, was to look for a sweep of these range lows. Once again, right? Look how clean. All this upside to this high, swept the highs. No, sorry. All this upside towards these highs. Then these lows came right after in one swing. Went back up to the highs, swept the highs, broke back below. What was the draw? These lows. So when we were trading somewhere around here, what did I say? Looking for a sweep of these lows into key level, pivotal level right here. And that's where you all in. That's how I made a tweet. And you look for new all-time highs, and that played out beautifully. So I'm still fully holding my spot Hyperliquid, especially because I think Bitcoin looks great as well, and Bitcoin is not done yet. So I'm simply holding all of my spots. Where am I looking to de-risk on hype? Well, I'm trying to time it a bit with Bitcoin, but like if hype does something crazy and trades into like 120 or something, then I'll more than likely take like off at least 30, 40, maybe 50% of my spot. So that's the plan for hype, but for now, still fully in, enjoying the gains, right? So yeah, what am I looking for next? Well, it's simply trading at all-time highs. So in price discovery, hard to get levels to the upside unless you're using FIBs. So last retrace from this to this, those are your FIBs. Now you can also use the most recent retrace from all-time highs, which is from here. Those were the all-time highs. What were the lows before we moved to new all-time highs? These right here. So then you get targets. There. 92, yeah, as you can see, it's little, like you don't really have a lot of confluence of the levels unless you draw boxes like this, which you could do, of course, right? But anyways, as always, just take profit on the way up. I'm looking at the 100 area as well, like maybe we front run that. If we get above 100, I feel like we trade at least towards like 120 or something. But we'll have to see. What wouldn't be great for hype would be if we now fail to hold above former all-time highs and break back below this. So if you see this and we don't get balled back up and trade instantly back higher, because then I'd say we're still looking good for new all-time highs. But if we break back below here, start consolidating and close some high time frame candles down here, yeah, then I think we're back in the range and we trade back down to at least 50, 60, maybe somewhere there. All right. If Bitcoin looks great too, let's take a look. Let's yeah, I mean, I don't really like this, honestly. We're bouncing from a little demand right here, but look at this monthly. Swept clean highs into some lower time frame supply there, and we're below there. So, and also, I don't like this kind of structure, right? We got a very decent bounce from here, but you're not gonna like bounce like this and now go to like there. What you want to see then, in my opinion, would be rejecting now, sweeping this again into, yeah, maybe lower down here, and then seeing the reclaim. And like a chart like this would look much better, in my opinion. Where would I invalidate? Well, if we reclaim this again now, right, and we start trading here, then maybe we pop, we sweep the highs, but even then I wouldn't like these lows down here. So honestly, I hope we go for some lows first. Right, so BNB, yeah, it looks obviously similar to Bitcoin. Very ugly monthly close right here, but if you wanted to see continuation, probably we should have done it from here. But instead, we're now invalidating all of that bearishness and we're reclaiming some very key levels. So low time frame target, these were the lows that got swept. These were the highs that came after those lows. So that's gonna be the low time frame draw liquidity. After that, up here and up here, right? Those would be my next targets. Yeah, honestly, this area in general will be key resistance, just like Bitcoin, but we'll have to see how it reacts. If Bitcoin sees continuation to the upside, if this is stronger or acting weaker, I will decide whether I sell or, because yeah, I'm more confident in my Bitcoin and high backs than I am in my BNB, Litecoin and ETH backs, obviously, you know. But I didn't feel like selling at the lows because they were very cheap prices. So, but I might, yeah, take profit on a move, something like this, where I get out and rotate some money more into like traditional markets, more than likely. So Litecoin, same thing. Litecoin's pretty blah, blah, still pretty weak. But also at range lows, swept range lows, but as you can see, the pump, it's not there, you know. Something like this, reclaimed it. So yeah, normally we don't straight up gonna break back below here. So I would say at least back towards these highs in here. If it gets back above, sorry, these range mean levels, yeah, then likely back towards range highs. If it gets back above these range highs, yeah, new highs. But for that to happen, a lot of levels will have to go. So yeah, level by level. But yeah, if you're asking me, am I bullish or bearish on Litecoin? Like, again, it makes more sense to be bullish here rather than bearish. So yeah. Could you check the 4 hour trying to manage a trade? Why not? Yeah, I mean, if you're short, I would rather be short here than long, for the simple reason that we saw the up move, right? Consolidated, swept some highs, rejected, and now broke down, right? So if this is the sweep and reclaim, I would wait for the reclaim above here. Now it just looks like swept the highs, consolidated and broke down. If you want to look for a continuation trade, right, to new highs, then you're gonna target like, yeah, 58, 60. So then it doesn't matter if you enter here or on a reclaim of 52 areas, somewhere around there, but it's much safer to enter above there. So future OTE as well. Oh, that's right up there. Yeah, so then I'd wait for a reclaim of something like this and then enter there. Your risk is there, and then target continuation here. If you're short, I'd say invalidation is this high right here. What's going on? George live. Yeah, man. First live stream in a while, I know. What do you think about people targeting 20k for ETH because of RWA and AI agents? I mean, why not, you know, bring it on. But 20k, let's start with 10k, you know. Let's start with 4k, yeah. It depends, you know, if you're an investor, if you're a trader. It's the same with Bitcoin. Like, you're not gonna check the 4 hour chart and start talking about 150k Bitcoin. But if you're like investing and you're on the very high time frames, yeah, then it seems way more possible. But on Ethereum, like, it's gonna be more difficult for Ethereum than for Bitcoin, of course. Why? Well, because in the previous bull market, we also failed to break to new all-time highs. Well, we did trade it above all-time highs exactly with one weekly wick right here. But apart from that, it's still in the same range than it was in 2021. And yes, if we now break out of this and we trade in price discovery, 5-6K, who knows? It can go very fast. So then 10K looks not that far away. But yeah, let's start with 4K, I guess. Zcash, yeah, I'm pretty pissed about Zcash because I was watching it, yeah, of course, ever since we saw the move right here. I was drawing the range where I wanted to buy, and of course, I ignored it because I was on holiday and blah blah blah. Well, not only because I was on holiday, of course, everyone thought the market was dead, blah blah. And now this is one of the only ones that's also trading at all-time highs. So, yeah, I missed it. I think a lot of people did. But it is what it is, right? Let's start clean, actually. Yeah, level to watch, previous all-time highs. Of course, you don't want to lose that level. If you do, you want to see it get bought back up, or you're gonna get a ETH situation where you start trading in a high time frame range. What if Zcash is at the place that Ethereum was when it traded to all-time highs? If it does this, breaks especially below here again, yeah, then I think it's back to range lows. But if this is a genuine breakout and now we hold above here, yeah, then I think it could go a lot higher. How do you know? Well, I personally don't like to be a buyer right here as we break into all-time highs. Why not? Because you don't know if it's a real breakout yet or a fake out and we trade back below here. So what I'd wait for is, so then you zoom in, lower time frames, like you can immediately see some key levels, highs right here, lows right here. The highs got swept, the lows got swept. If it's looking for continuation, it should break back above here, and then you have your risk there, and then it's a safer trade to target all-time highs. If you're bearish and we now break below here, then you can take a short there, stop right above there, and target here, and maybe even a lot lower. I mean, everyone his own approach, but that's how I like to see things. You could also work in parts where you buy, like if you think it's a real breakout, you buy some here, you keep your stop wide below here. If prices go up and do this, you add to your position and trail your stops here. That could be a nice way to do it as well. Something like this. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't really like the daily at the moment. You see the daily, this daily candle down here, we didn't sweep yesterday low. We rejected Monday low, that is right. Yeah. Monday low. Monday low. Monday high is unswept though, so let's see. Yeah, maybe even safer to wait for a Monday low reclaim. But overall, yeah, Zcash, it's the thing is, this has been one of the strongest coins in the market while everything was down as well. So that gives it more chance that it's going to trade to new all-time highs rather than now act like a shitcoin and dump to zero, right? So there you have that. Aave and Link. Yeah, we'll do those as well. nice pump. But yeah, those are like those old coins. I don't trust them, you know. I know I'm holding BNB and I'm holding, so why not? But yeah, let's look pure at the technicals, I guess then. Yeah, it had a really nice pump, but as you can see, it's rejecting heavily already. So I'd say keep an eye on this blue level, and on the lower time frames, look for a sweep and strength, and then maybe just look for a bounce play if you're looking for a trade like that. High time frame wise, like I wouldn't buy a coin like this right here. Now it did dump very fast right here, so who knows, maybe high or low, and we start ripping. But yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of selling pressure still. Let's see Link. Yeah, see Link is looking pretty good. I like this one more. At least for like a move to up here and up here again. Something like this. And then we'll see into this area. All right. Gold is looking pretty decent as well. This monthly candle reclaimed quite a bit of key levels. Again, 5 more days before we close. But if it closes below these lows, that's a clean reclaim of range low. So yeah, then it's looking pretty decent again for a move back to range mean. Decent structure right there. Now weekly looks a bit exhausted, so what level I would be watching is this one right here. Maybe these lows, if you get them, look for longs there, I would say. But not sure you're gonna get it. That would be ideal though, that we sweep these weekly levels right here. Like this. And then target the highs up here. Come on. And up there. Something like that. But overall, I like this reclaim. Yeah. Platinum and silver are a little bit weaker still. So I'd give those a bit of time. But yeah, if gold rips, who knows? But so far, don't really like it. Like those. Yeah, they look like they wanna just see more ranging. After a move like this, obviously, what you get is downside and then a long accumulation phase. So who knows when they're going to pump like this again. Can take years in my opinion. But I would like them more below like $50 or something. Stocks, yeah, I still like them. They're trading at all-time highs. I made the circle when we broke out, like right here, around 8k. I don't really see a reason to be bearish here, so more than likely they just keep on trending to new all-time highs. Uranium, had a really nice sweep here of these lows into demand, right? And as you can see, very strong again now. Now, unluckily, I added, like I already had uranium. I bought the ETF. Then I added like right here. So horrible entry to double down on uranium. But I really felt like we were going to break out here and trade higher. Unfortunately, all the way back down to my first ideal entry. But anyways, I'm just holding this for the long term. I think it's a pretty safe hold over the years. World energy as well, nothing much to update. We bought this like right here on the breakout. See, that's what I wanted to do with uranium, but this one, it played out beautifully. I'm up like 40% or something on that. Now it's just in a range, likely keeps ranging and then maybe breaks out again. Apart from that, that's pretty much all I'm watching. Do you guys have any more questions for me? As I said, I will be trying to stream more regularly again. Maybe post some videos as well. So yeah, let's see how that goes. All right, guys, leave a like, please, if you enjoyed the stream. It really helps me a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you get a notification when I go live or when I post a video. All right, if there's no more questions, I will hop off. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Gave my view, especially on Bitcoin, right? Why I think that that this move clearly changed something in the market, right? We've been waiting for a long time, so a lot of ranging, but it's finally looking good again. That doesn't mean you have to FOMO into everything right now. There will be dips again, so wait for your entries, have a plan, have a stop loss, and then everything will be fine. So if you liked it, leave a like on the stream, subscribe, and I'll see you around. Bye.